Many of you, like myself, have been on the hunt for the holy grail, a home sauna that actually works. The professional ones cost a massive amount of money and take up a ton of space. The budget ones on Amazon, yeah, they don't cut the mustard. Have I finally found my white whale in this SaunaBox GO? Is it the real deal or is it more hot air? The No Fate channel, checking in. Jonathan here with a full, complete, and honest review of the SaunaBox GO. And we're gonna compare it to their original SaunaBox. Have they fixed some of the drawbacks that I discovered with the original units? And how hot does it actually get inside the SaunaBox GO? I went down to Kentucky for a home gym convention, and this SaunaBox GO immediately caught my eye. So much so that I actually put an order in online before the plane even touched down back in Boston. So I'm not being told what to say. I'm not going to be giving this video to anybody to review before it goes live.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
But I will tell you that I do have an old SaunaBox affiliate that's still active. I'm going to put the links in the description. If you do want to go with the SaunaBox GO after today's review, use those links. It does help the channel create these honest reviews. Setting up the SaunaBox GO is quick and easy. All you got to do is pull out the sides. It's literally like a pop-up tent. And personally, I think the construction on this is much better than the original unit, which just had PVC piping and cheap PVC at that. And you had to connect all of the PVC and then wrap out the tent. This one, it's all attached. Boom, so much faster and easier.
Job's done.
Let's quickly talk how this thing actually works.
To heat the SaunaBox GO, you've got to use this crock pot device, which is a massive upgrade from their original unit. This is much more heavy duty, and it actually comes with an app so that if you want to use your phone to preheat this thing, which is super convenient, you can. You want to use distilled water because it is going to be vaporized and you don't want to be breathing in any nasty stuff. After you add the water, you turn it on. This has 15 heat settings. I always go to the max heat setting, and it has a 1 hour timer for max. So you can see I always go up to 15 and just basically enjoy the high heat. Now what happens is the water boils, the vapor from that water will go through this and it goes into this diffuser. Now this thing will get exceptionally hot. You don't want to touch it. You don't want your body to graze it. What I will typically do is put it underneath my seat, and I find that keeps it out of the way. Now as you can see, I've got a space blanket in here. I have been working on ways to increase the internal temperature, and this was one of the methods that I tested. I will say you don't need a space blanket. It's just something that I'm testing out for today's video.
One massive upside to the OG SaunaBox and unfortunate downside was that it had a very small footprint, meaning you could put it anywhere. It was like a phone booth. And I know you millennials probably don't know what I'm talking about, but it had a very small square footage, and you literally could put it in the corner of your garage, a closet, even your basement. The reason that the small footprint was also a detractor was that it was built tall. So you could actually stand up in it. But when most people utilize their sauna for 10 to 20 minutes, they don't want to stand for that whole time. They want to kind of sit down. And as we know from high school, heat rises to the top. And so when you got into the SaunaBox and sat down, you noticed almost a 20-degree difference from the top of the SaunaBox to the bottom. So when you were sitting down, it certainly didn't feel nearly as warm as you wanted it to. This GO version absolutely solves that problem. It is wider, it is deeper, and it is shorter. Not only will this hold 2 people, so if your wife or your husband want to join you during your sauna, you can, but your whole body is going to be much closer to the ceiling, meaning you're going to experience a whole lot more heat than you would with the original version. And that is a big plus. Another big upside to this GO version is that it comes with not just 1, but 3 optional windows. The original version had 1 in the front, and when you got in and sat down, man, it was pretty dark inside. These, you can use them if you want. Opening up all 3 windows will let in a ton of light so you don't feel as claustrophobic and you don't feel that it's as much of a coffin as it may seem. But if you want to maximize the heat on this thing, you can roll down the flaps on those windows and maximize the thermodynamics. But how hot does it actually get inside?
Here you can see the humidity level is up to 99%. It is literally like taking a bath with your head under the water. You can see the temperature coming out of this box here. That's where the water vapor comes out. Coming in at 165, it was just 177. So as you can see, if the interior of this sauna was 170 degrees Fahrenheit, it would be exceptionally hot. But we've got the laws of thermodynamics, and you've got a lot of places for the air to escape in terms of the heat. Now we've got windows, which are nice, but as you can imagine, when you actually use the windows, you're losing some of that heat in terms of thermodynamic property. Exterior temperature plays a massive role in what the interior temperature will be. The colder it is outside, the colder it's going to be in here. And of course, if you put this outside on a 100-degree day, it's going to be a scorcher inside of here. So, but it's going to be a massive factor. The only way to stabilize that would be to actually have this inside your home where you know the temperature is going to be around between 70 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Here we go. At the ceiling, the temperature is 133. Now I just got in, so that temperature is going to go up a little bit, because when you get in, a bunch of stuff kind of goes out the door. As quick as you try to come in, you always lose a lot of stuff out the door. But 133 is probably going to be pretty close to the top temperature. Keep in mind, that's the top of the ceiling where all the heat builds up. At the bottom of the floor coming in, let's just check it. Beep, 120. So you've got almost an 18-degree difference between the ceiling and the floor, which is pretty noticeable. I mean, think about your home. If you had it set at 80 versus 60, what the temperature differential would feel like. Now, the humidity is probably 100%. The measurement that I'm using shows 80 because a lot went out the window when I opened that door, but it's going to build right back up to 80. I'm sweating and I'm just drenched. This is best case scenario, but I feel like this is absolutely hot enough. If I really wanted better insulation, I could get another heat blanket and put it in the front of me, and I could close up this window and I would get no light. But again, without the windows open, in terms of like sunlight coming in, it's pretty bleak in here, pretty dark. But if you had all the windows open, you're not nearly going to get it as hot. It's definitely a decision you need to make in terms of how much light you want versus how hot you want it in here.
But what about the Benjamins? What did the SaunaBox Go actually cost me? Now, if you go on their website, they have it listed at $650, but there is a permanent $100 off coupon bringing that to $550. But I did use my own personal YouTube code, NoFate247, in order to save an additional 10% off. So all told, $500 delivered. It absolutely hurts to pay that $500 up front, but it has delivered on my expectations. I was nervous that it wasn't going to get hot enough, and between the heat and the added humidity, which is usually at about 100%, I will say I don't stay in nearly as long as I plan to. Oftentimes, I try to target 20 minutes and find myself looking at my watch at the 10-minute mark and tend to poke my head out that front flap at the 15-minute mark. And that, to me, is what you're looking for with a sauna. You want it to get as hot as you can stand it. Perfect. So at $500 delivered, yep, it's unfortunately more money than the original version, but I happen to think it offers a lot more than the original version, and at $500, it's still substantially less than the $2,000 for an infrared sauna built in your home, or the $4,000 or $5,000 to have a barrel sauna built on your property. But before I give you my final thoughts, let's talk about some of the detractors. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the SaunaBox Go does have a wider and even deeper footprint than the original version. And I think for many of you living in a tiny apartment, that will be a problem. I will say that the bigger space that it takes up on the floor is, in my opinion, negated with how easy it is to set up as well as take down. Also, the max temperature in here will definitely hit 130 degrees Fahrenheit with 100% humidity. And in those conditions, it feels exceptionally hot. During this summer testing, I was even able to get that up to 140. And a few times I threw in space blankets as well as a sauna suit. And man, oh man, we were cooking. But if you're used to a commercial grade sauna that typically gets to 150 all the way up to 175 degrees Fahrenheit, you're not going to be able to get this that hot. And if you're looking to maximize your sauna benefits, that is going to be a concern. I will say though, at 130 degrees and 100% humidity, this thing was roasty toasty. Before you buy this though, keep in mind where you're going to be actively using it, because the external temperature does play a bit of a factor in how hot this will get inside. So if you do plan to keep it in a cold garage or basement, don't expect to hit 130 degrees all the time. Another detractor, because I'm as lazy as they come, is that you've got to clean this thing. Now, it's not like a rotisserie chicken where you can just set it and forget it. Typically, what I will do after every use is I'll pull out the internal mat in here, let that air dry, and then I will get a towel and quickly wipe down the walls. It takes all of 20 seconds. Now, every week or two, I will get a light detergent and just kind of go in there and just clean up. And of course, make sure that when I have this thing open, I try to air it out as much as I can when not in use. Before I pack it away and store it, I make sure that the inside is completely dry. The 3 windows that this thing comes with, yeah, it's not something I thought of initially, but now that I have them, I do enjoy the fact that if I want to get more light and feel like I'm in a much bigger area, I certainly can. And for those days that I really want to drive up the heat and the intensity, I can certainly roll the flaps down for maximum thermodynamics. Now, does this get over 150 degrees Fahrenheit? Absolutely not. The highest I was able to get this was 140 degrees Fahrenheit, which is still exceptionally hot, especially with that humidity. But you're not going to get those super hot temperatures that you may want or see in a commercial grade sauna. But that's just how the world works. You're not going to get a $4,000 experience for a $500 price tag. Overall though, this has been getting used. I do like the convenience of it, and I love the design. I think they really outdid themselves in terms of improving both the structural design of the setup as well as the assembly design in terms of how you just pop this thing open, pop it out, pop it in. You can set it up quick, you can tear it down quick if you want, and ultimately it's getting the job done. And most importantly, it's actually getting used in a hectic environment when I got my kids, my work, my YouTube channel, and of course everything else in between. I'm still managing to get time for this sauna. And there is nothing, and I mean nothing better than hopping in the sauna for 10 or 15 minutes, getting out and jumping right into an ice bath. It is great for your mind and your body, and it helps improve your circulation. My longtime subscribers know that I review a ton of gym equipment, health-related equipment for your home, as well as gadgets and even lawnmowers. And unfortunately, the stuff that I don't use frequently will get kicked to the curb in a hurry. Now, when it comes to the SaunaBox GO, I have been using it about 4 to 5 times a day and really enjoying it. As far as the heat is concerned, it does definitely get hot. I mean, so hot that I'm usually leaving before I hit the 20-minute mark, which is usually my target goal. So it's getting so uncomfortable in there between the heat and the humidity that I can't stay in very long. And that to me is what you're looking for with the sauna. You want it to get as hot as you can stand it. I'm certainly going to be keeping this hot tamale around for the foreseeable future. Now, I want you to drop any comments you might still have down below. Use those links and my affiliate code if you are going to be picking up the SaunaBox now. 2 things that absolutely will get up to 175 degrees Fahrenheit. These 2 videos. Watch those next, and as usual, don't save anything for the trip back.